I'm a scumbag.
I could have told you that.
Thank you, Lupe. I sold this laptop 2 months ago, and it got returned to me because it was defective. The customer emailed me and said, hey, when I use this laptop after like 30 minutes or so, it shuts down on me. It doesn't just hard shut down, it says shutting down, you know, ... and then it shuts down. And when it does, it doesn't boot up until like 3 more minutes. You press the power button, the light comes on, screen stays black, and then it'll turn right off. And then a few more minutes, press power button, it turns on. Now, I tested the temps on there and they looked fine. It was hitting like 98 degrees under OCCT, completely loaded, but everything else was fine. I mean, this thing technically can go up to 100 degrees Celsius. This is a Dell Precision 7510. It's a workstation. So it has a 6th gen Intel and it has a dedicated GPU. I believe it's an AMD. So this thing does get spicy. However, it should never shut down like that on a customer. So obviously I sold this guy a defective laptop, which makes me a scumbag, right?
Yes.
No, you're supposed to say no, Lupe. I thought you were in this with me.
Oh no, now with that. That's where
Lupe absolves himself of all responsibility.
The Homer Simpson
The bushes, yeah. Lupe and the bushes. Now Lupe has every right to do that because he didn't work on this laptop. But a true scumbag would not refund the customer, they wouldn't take the device back, and they would tell the customer, you know, it's been more than 30 days, right? Give them the razor treatment.
Yes.
But here at Salem Techsperts, being one guy, I warranty these for a whole year because I feel like if I'm selling you something, it should last you at least a year. Minimum, it should last you a year. That's the whole reason I did this in the first place. Before the NVMe crisis made it so that I have 100 X1 carbons back there that I can't sell because it's too expensive to buy NVMEs for them. So today, we're gonna figure out what the hell went wrong with this. What did I do to this thing? What did Lupe do to my wife? That's the second part on Patreon. So I went into Event Viewer, the event log, and I saw that it says it was triggered by a thermal event. And the fans are blowing warm, they're connected, they blow. We don't judge here, anybody can say that. You can blow all you want, as long as it's consensual.
Yes.
I saw that it was a thermal event. I think it's a VRM that's overheating, which would explain why when you press the power button after it shuts down, it won't start back up because the VRM is cooling down. I'm hoping it's that because if it's a motherboard issue, I'm gonna send it to Nathan at Parts People. I'm gonna lose even more money on this sale. So hope it's not a motherboard issue.
Yeah.
Now, I love these laptops, Lupe. Just like I love you. We all love you.
Send that Cash App, baby, if you do.
Send love to Lupe in the form of money. Cash App Lupe GE1. Battery is not puffing, which is good. That makes me feel better. So there's no drives in here. There is a drive caddy, and this does have an NVMe. No hard drive. I love these Precisions, and I specifically sell these Precisions because they're fantastic used laptops. Even though this only has a 6th gen Intel, it's a workhorse. You put Linux on this bad boy, and this thing will fly. It does have that dedicated AMD GPU, which is great. You can game on it. You know, it's not gonna run everything at 150 FPS, but it's a good gaming rig. It's fairly easy to upgrade. To do the thermal paste, not so much, but to actually upgrade the machine, it's fairly easy.
What's not easy is segueing to a sponsor. Thankfully, today's sponsor, Fanttik, blessed me with the F2 Master Mini Cordless Rotary Tool. This little guy is perfect for DIY projects and comes with 35 accessories magnetically attached in this super compact case that fits perfectly in my backpack. It runs way quieter than other similar tools we've used and only measures 32 decibels under max RPM. It has 5 speed settings with a max RPM of 25,000, is incredibly resilient, being dust-proof and waterproof, making it super convenient for jobs like this, and can be charged from 0 to 100 in 60 minutes through the USB-C port. This thing's perfect if you ever want to do polishing, grinding, or cutting, but don't want to lug around a huge rotary tool while doing so. It's like the size of a pen and barely weighs anything. We've been using these for over a year for all sorts of different projects, and they've held up great, which makes sense since they were crowned Best of the Best at the 2025 Red Dot Awards and honored with the 2025 IF Design Award. And sharing that same design philosophy is the B10 Pro Max Air Duster. The fan in this pocket rocket spins at an insane 130,000 RPM and blows 6 meters of air a second. And with the Mega Boost one-tap booster button, this thing makes a can of compressed air look like a light breeze. Equipped with two 4,000 milliamp lithium batteries, it provides up to 210 minutes of use per charge. charge, and you can keep track of the battery and speed on the LED screen. It comes with 4 attachments that screw in and stay there, unlike other blowers that fall off if bumped. This blower is the real deal, and Fantik's tools have held up to our abuse. Check them out for yourself. Just use my Amazon coupon code SALEMF2M for 38% off the F2 Master and SALEMB10M for 44% off the B10 Pro Max. Do you know how much RAM this has, Lupe?
16, 32.
Even higher.
Wow, 64.
64 gigabytes. It might actually only have 32. I don't know. See, I gotta talk low because I don't want the RAM burglar to hear us.
The who?
The RAM burglar.
Bad boys, bad boys.
All right, RAM burglar's not here. We're safe. 2 screws. The cover comes right off. And so this is the problem with this laptop, but it's also what makes this laptop so awesome. There's a subframe right here, and it's very sturdy. So it makes this thing a tank, but it also makes it a pain in the ass to access the thermals, as you can see.
Yes.
So we have 2 sticks of 8 gigabyte, looks like. But I know we have 32 in here. 8, 16.
Sound to the keyboard, I believe, no?
Yes. Yes. See, yeah, Lupe, you're right. There is a crap ton of screws on this thing. I'm not gonna show you how to disassemble every single screw. Thankfully, Dell does label it. So you have P1, you have P, oh, and you have D for the display. What I like to tell everybody, if you're doing this yourself, just every single screw you see, just take it out and keep them organized. So M2X8 is gonna go M2X8. You can even make a little post-it for yourself if you need to. Me, I don't, because I'm
The greatest technician that's ever lived.
and I would never lose a screw. That's not how I operate here.
Are you sure about that?
If you do lose a screw and you reassemble it and it still works, you just designed it better than the engineers. Weight reduction, that's what you did.
Heck yeah.
Thank you.
A few minutes later.
And just like that, Lupe, every single screw is out.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, because I triple, double, quadruple checked it before I started the camera. And we even labeled them.
I labeled them.
Just to give you guys an example of how you should do it. I don't need labels. The one thing that is annoying about this computer is the keyboard cover, because you have 1,000 screws on the keyboard, and they're not captive screws. They come out with the device. There's a few screws. I understand it adds stability, you know, it adds sturdiness to the keyboard. It is a very nice keyboard. It's just kind of annoying that they did it like this. However, there's always a trade-off with sturdiness and repairability, or, you know, upgradability. And this is labeled with K. Dell, being good guy Dell, is labeling everything. Every screw is labeled again. Not for us, probably for their repair techs. But after you remove all the screws, it comes right out. That doesn't look good now, does it?
No.
That looks like a burn mark. That is coming from right here. That does look very sus.
Scorched.
Yeah, it looks scorched. Now, why the heck would that screw be getting that hot? Or is it just like oil or something? Quite a few cubes in this. Quite a few.
Oh, looks like my pet badger's hair.
You have a pet badger.
Yes.
It ate my anaconda. And now we have a ton more screws. M2 5x5s, we have a billion of them. So every single one of these screws needs to be removed. And that, Lupe, is where the RAM is, the 16 gigs of RAM.
Wow, the soldered RAM.
The RAM's soldered in my brain, and it's deteriorating.
Yes.
And our screws, 2.5x5, have been labeled. And now this thing should come right out, except you gotta unplug the connectors here. Now my tiny raccoon-like fingers can't get in there, but my plastic spudger can. Aha. Oh, wait, what are we getting stuck on? Oh, we got another. There it is, there it is.
It's a mine trap.
It's a minefield, this thing. Truly is a minefield, but it is kind of forgiving. So that's what the panel looks like. Power button right here, power wire button wire thing, touchpad here. And this is what we came for. This guy and this guy. So my theory is that these VRMs are not being covered. And I can already see my theory is correct because the VRM right here is not covered. Hopefully I don't have to remove the hinge on this thing. But wow, look how beefy that hinge is, Lupe. Look at that. Reminds me of you. Look how sturdy that is.
Heck yeah. The young calf.
I just want to spend like 3 minutes. Just give me 3 minutes in your head. I just need to hear the thought process. Just to like, the young calf. What does that even mean?
Dude, I don't even know. Man.
I love it. So what I'm gonna actually do first, Lupe, I'm gonna try to tighten these screws because I wanna know why this is overheating. So no, none of the screws are loose, which is a good thing. So I'm gonna unscrew in order, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if that screw did need to be cracked, it wouldn't be a problem because I have the LTT precision screwdriver that includes the little crossbar here that you can crack tough screws with. You can get it at lttstore.com/Salem. I guess this screw isn't supposed to come out like it just did. So we're off to a great start here. Just when you think you unscrewed it all the way, you didn't. So now we have leverage. Oh God, I gotta fight. I hate these fans, man. I was just complaining about this fan type in the other video. All right, got that one. I'm just gonna try to crack it with my thumb on the sides, my fingernail, trying to crack it. It looks like I felt like I got it. That should come right up, and it did, thankfully. Let's get up there. All right, let's see, where did we go wrong, Lupe?
Where did we go wrong indeed?
So it's not the GPU. The GPU is quite clearly not the problem. What the heck? The VRMs that we're concerned about, these two guys, those are the only ones that look like they're actually cooled. Those VRMs were just cooking. Thermal paste doesn't look bad. It was a light application, but it did cover the entire thing. Like that whole chip's covered, that whole chip was covered. Thermal paste was fine. This is definitely the issue here, 100%. One of these guys was overheating, and that was the reason it was shutting down. It was unacceptable. Full disclosure, I didn't refurbish this. I had a previous employee refurbish this. However, this is my responsibility because I hired that person, and I was the one who approved this to leave. I'm the one who does the QC testing. I'm the one that developed the QA processes here before a laptop is shipped out after it's sold. So this is 100% on me, which sucks. That's the thing about owning a business, right? Is that you have to take responsibility for the people that you hire. So if they mess something up, you messed up. So with that said, the reason that this silicone is not good, and I'm glad that this computer hasn't died yet, this is way too thin. He used way too thin of silicone on this. This is not acceptable. They're not making contact with the actual VRMs on the motherboard or the GPU. Not happy with this at all. There's nothing I can do. That employee doesn't work for me anymore. I wonder why. So what I can do is I can fix it. I have already refunded the customer, full refund, including shipping. What I'm going to do is refurbish it myself the correct way, and I'm going to test it, and we'll go from there. But this is just a little spiel from the business perspective of taking accountability when you f up. And it's something that I've preached other companies to do, and I've rewarded other companies to do. I Buy Power, and other companies that have not done that, and they never take responsibility. They never take accountability for their products. I'm not even gonna say the word because you already know who I'm talking about. But let's get on with it. Now the thing is, I don't care how much money I make. You know, if I end up becoming a billionaire, I don't care because I don't want to be I am the shitty repair shop. My reputation means a lot to me. I built this friggin' business over the period of 10 years. I don't want my business to be known as, you know, that place that sells crappy laptops. So this is unacceptable to me. I am very frustrated that this happened in the first place. The way I'm going to deal with it, I am gonna replace the thermal putty, these sad excuse for silicone pads, I'm replacing with thermal putty. This is Upsiren Ultra Terminator X. And I'm replacing that thermal paste with PTM 7950. So that's how we're gonna resolve this. And then we're gonna test it afterwards and make sure it works. All right, we are all done. That took about half an hour, but now we are thermal puttied out. Every chip that needs thermal putty now has thermal putty, and I made sure it was thick enough, not too thick, not too thin.
The thick police.
Yes, the thick police, 2 C's. Now I'm gonna put this heatsink back on, I'm gonna put this thing all back together, and we're gonna test it out to see how it runs. All right, we are finished. We don't have that many screws left over. Thankfully, we did a pretty good job here this time. Now let's see if it actually worked. I do expect it to take a few seconds because the CMOS is resetting itself. Get that out of D. Okay, am I crazy or did you just see the BIOS just real quick?
No.
Okay, never mind, I saw the event log. Long story, but the NVMe he sent back wasn't actually the correct NVMe. We're running Furmark and we're doing the CPU burner, which obviously you can see, as well as doing the GPU test right there, the stress test for the GPU. We're gonna see if this shuts down. We're gonna see how high this gets. Usually about after 5 minutes is when it peaks. Let's stay tuned. You guys want some nuts? Okay, it has been 25 minutes and our CPU has not gotten hotter than 87 degrees Celsius, which means I am a fucking idiot because this thing was hitting 98 C before and I was like, oh, that's fine, that's normal.
Our favorite band.
Play that clip right here. Just like that, 98 degrees is not normal. But now we are At 79 degrees under full load, the package itself, the cores are only 75. That's insanely cool. 20-degree difference is huge, and the computer is not shut off at this point, whereas before, after 10 minutes, it would croak. I am, very ashamed that this went out of the store like that. However, I just want to give you a glimpse into like real life, because YouTube, when you look at YouTubers, nothing ever goes wrong, everything's perfect, there's never mistakes, they never own up to mistakes, something like that. And I kind of just want to give you guys a glimpse into the reality of owning a repair shop, where not everything is unicorn farts and rainbows. Sometimes you fuck up. A lot of the times you fuck up, and it's how you deal with that fuck up is what sets you apart from the rest. And this is how you should be. If you make a mistake in life, own up to it. Don't try to pass blame or anything like that. Admit to it, put your ego aside, and deal with it. Deal with it how you would want to be dealt with. It's okay to be wrong, but it's not okay to not admit you're wrong, and to do something to correct that wrong. So that's my Andy's final thoughts. But for you guys wondering, this is an AMD Radeon R9 M375X. And our CPU is my favorite of all time, i7 6920HQ.
Wine and dine in 69.
You're very familiar with that. My wife told me. As for this laptop, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll resell it. Unfortunately, I have quite a lot of things to resell, like 100 X1 carbons, and all these computers that some of them are ready, some of them are not ready. But unfortunately, we are going to be in Taiwan when this video releases, so we're going to have to wait for that. But thank you for watching. You guys are great. I love you all these members. Shout out to all these members. Is it this side I'm pointing to? I haven't given you a shop tour in a while. Look at this. Look at all of our props. Oh no. No. He's just hanging out. Bye.